It was called a Grecian temple, the handsomest railway station ever seen, an artistic gem. And it used to be the jewel of Omaha. Built in 1898, the last passenger went through the Burlington station in 1974. Now, KETV is bringing the Burlington back to be our news station, reviving a building that's been the home of vagrants, vandals, and vermin for decades. Surprisingly, it's still standing.
There were portions of it that were close to its last legs.
Christy Nahavik from Leo A. Daily is lead structural engineer on the project. She walked me through some of the engineering surprises, good and bad, beginning in the heart of the Burlington.
In this area, it was surprisingly in really good shape. The main building was. It's approximately 90 foot by 90 foot by 90 foot tall from the level that we're standing on up to the roof. So almost a perfect cube area.
Engineers had to think outside the box to inspect the steel on the roof. They called in experts from tower and turbine technologies, experts also in climbing.
They actually used mountain climbing gear. They had a full harness system with ropes, pulleys, and they threw the rope up over the roof joists and were able to pull themselves up, and inspect it.
And how did it check out? Or did it check out?
It did. It did. The steel in this building checked out all right.
Some parts, though, didn't. Like the North Concourse, where people got on and off the train. As you can see, it was far too gone to save. So were beams on the west side. They were actually hidden, and once uncovered, deemed too rusted to be trusted.
Some places you could pretty much put your fingers right through the steel beams.
You see those crooked paths down the bricks in the Great Hall? Well, that's because the roof drains were bad and water ran down the walls.
I think the biggest damage was done because of water. There's a lot of water infiltration.
The biggest engineering challenge in the project, building a news studio on the lower level.
I mean, how much weight is above us? I mean,
there's a lot. There's probably, I think we figured out, 500,000 pounds.
500,000 pounds. Problem, to make space for a studio, those blue supporting columns had to come out. New ones, spread apart, had to go in. And when digging the foundations, the soil kept collapsing in on itself, forcing crews deeper.
Bedrock under this building is about 70 to 90 feet down.
so you had to drill all the way down to bedrock?
We did.
They call it a micropile system, supporting the new columns and those red triple steel beams. The trick, swapping the old columns with this new frame.
And we jacked it up slightly to take the pressure off of the existing columns from the existing horizontal beam system. And by doing that, we were able to essentially just pull out the existing columns because they didn't have any load on them.
The other challenge, keeping it quiet. After all, the studio will be just feet from a working rail line. And since sound travels through vibration, the studio's built on an isolated slab. It sits on a 2-inch thick piece of insulation, and the concrete doesn't go all the way to the walls.
So can you have a train go by here during a newscast and not hear it?
I think you're going to hear it a little bit, but that's part of the charm of being down here at the Burlington, isn't it?
It is.